ready, get ready. It's time for the Medicare Funcast. Medicare information for those that need it. Music, memories, interviews, and pop culture for those that don't. And now, here's Brian Kulis.
Welcome to the Medicare Funcast with Brian Kulis. And great to have you on this show. This is part 2 of my interview with my mom, Marcella Kulis. And by the way, my mom is 98 and a half years old. So I had a lot of fun talking to her on the first part. This is the second part of the interview with what it's like to be 98 and a half years old. And you could find my podcast on YouTube, the Medicare Funcast on YouTube. And of course, all of the audio versions of this are located wherever you get your podcast. So this is going to be a lot of fun. This is part 2 of my interview with my mom, Marcella Kulis. My friend Raymond and also Charles Zeiler asks, what do you remember about the war years? So you were, World War II was going on. It started when you were like 16 and ended when you were 20 years old.
I was in college.
Right.
And I remember my parents lived in Kalamazoo at the time.
Yes.
And when war was over, the people all went downtown. The town just shut down completely.
Oh, wow.
And celebrated.
What a happy time.
It was.
You lost a lot of friends, relatives, young men
Yes.
that you knew.
From school.
How tragic. And then a lot of men came home, a bunch of men coming home and getting married and
my brother
starting businesses. Yes.
He was in the service.
Aunt Bernice's husband, Uncle Gene, he fought in the Pacific, and he was a milkman, right,
Yes.
in Gobles area, Michigan. And the funny thing is, Bob DeLong comments here. This is Bob DeLong, one of my customers in Hot Springs Village. He says, "Good-looking Michigan woman." He's talking about you. He says, "You're a good-looking Michigan woman."
Yeah.
And the funny thing, Bob is my customer in Hot Springs Village. Coincidentally, he grew up in Gobles area, in Allegan and Gobles.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, my Uncle Gene, your brother-in-law, was their milkman back in the 1950s.
Really?
Yeah, in the 1950s. Small
Wow.
world. So.
It is.
So Bob is from Michigan. He lives here in Hot Springs Village. He says, good-looking Michigan woman. And Virginia Lalibert, I think that is how I say her name, Lalibert. I'm sorry, Virginia, if I botched your name. She's asking you, how did you make friends without cell phones back in the day? How did you make plans? Letters and mail, right. I mean, you did have phones later.
Yes.
Obviously. So it's either phones, but people wrote a lot of letters back then, right?
Yes.
You write, and you'd write to your sisters and brothers and friends. Wow. So a different time back then. And let's see if we have, I'm sure I have some more little photos here of you, Mom. Here is you. I think this is the early 50s. That's with Cousin David.
Yes.
I think Cousin David's in his 70s now, early 70s.
72.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that kind of 1950s shirt was real popular, wasn't it? Oh, wow. Do you like the styles? What are your favorite years for styles? Do you like the 1940s or 50s or?
Well, it's harder to determine because they changed so much.
Oh, over your lifetime, yes.
Well, my lifetime, I had very few clothes to wear.
Right.
And
when you were younger and not a lot of money.
Yes, and my mother sewed a lot.
Okay.
So she made a lot of our clothes.
Wow, that's neat.
But skirts and blouses.
Sure. Absolutely.
Mostly.
And it was elegant too. I think it was men were dressed nice. They wore a lot of hats, and women wore dresses frequently,
never wore
not skimpy outfits
or jeans.
Right. And I don't think your dad would have let you out of the house wearing some of the things people wear.
He was very strict.
He was, right? I got a few spankings when I was little. So
Did you?
Well, he died when I was 5, but I do remember your dad. He was just a wonderful person.
Yes,
but
when you misbehaved.
I did deserve it.
Which you did. You were well behaved.
Mostly, right? And Rosemary Westbrook, our old, I wouldn't say old neighbor, she was a neighbor over on Goose Pond, Rosemary Westbrook, and she says, "You're so sweet." She's asking how much a loaf of bread was back then. You remember how much bread? Was it maybe like 10 cents or something back then?
It was very cheap. Food was cheap. My mom baked.
So yeah, you a lot of times you would,
bread.
you had homemade bread instead of going to buy a loaf of bread.
Biscuits.
And then later on, especially 1950s, TV shows were popular. Do you remember what your favorite TV shows were? Did you watch TV shows with Grandpa?
I didn't watch them.
But I remember growing up, didn't you like watching soap operas and things? When you were a housewife, you were home. I remember the soap operas being on.
Well, I watched baseball games.
Oh, yes, baseball, because you always loved
Mostly,
sports, right?
Yeah.
Baseball games. I'm going to show a picture here. Here's you, my grandpa Staken. That's your dad. Wow, what a pretty dress, Mom.
Thank you.
That's in our house in Tempe. That's where
That's the
I grew up.
parents' house, yes.
Yeah, I grew up in Tempe, and he lived with us for a while till he passed away. Wow, that is pretty much a little bit before my time.
He loved you so much, and I love you too.
Oh, I love you too, absolutely. And then Deanna Flanagan asks, what's your favorite memory as a young mother? So in the 1960s, I was born in 64, and one of your favorite memories is of adopting Corey, my sister. She's 4 years younger than me. And you said that was a great memory, is when we adopted, or you adopted her?
Yes.
Okay, and what was exciting about adopting Corey?
Well, we had to wait a year for her.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, the instant we walked in the room and saw this little bundle of joy, we took her clothes off.
Yeah.
Counted her toes and fingers and made sure she was all there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But she did have a problem with keeping her milk down, so
Yeah.
she was 2 weeks old when we received her.
And we had to go get her goat milk, right? I remember in Phoenix going with Dad to buy goat milk for her at a little farm.
She had
Yeah, goat milk. And I remember back then too, we had a diaper service, like you had the cloth diapers.
Yes.
And a diaper truck would come by and pick up the diapers.
Right.
A lot has changed. They would deliver milk or cheese too and things like that. So another question, Diane Steele Moulton. I grew up with Charles. That's Diane, Charles's sister. And she asked, what is the worst thing Brian did as a teenager? And what was his punishment?
I wouldn't say.
Oh, you can. I'll give you permission.
I don't.
What?
Well, he came home one night and could hardly walk. He just fell into his bed.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, that was probably my college days. Yeah.
It was your college days.
And did I get punished?
Of course.
Oh, good. I needed to. She's also asking, how did you discipline back then? How did you discipline?
Take away a privilege that they liked.
Right, and spankings too.
You remember that?
Your spankings weren't very hard. Dad's were, but
my discipline wasn't hard either.
But we'd get grounded and things. And how did your father discipline you growing up?
Oh, I can't tell you that.
Oh, well, he was just a spank. I mean, a leather strap, right?
with straps.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a disciplinarian.
Right, but he did it with love.
And
he
he
didn't.
kept his word.
Yeah, he didn't abuse you. He spanked you with love, but it was,
We listened to
yeah,
him.
he was very strict,
Yeah.
strict man. Kathy Moore Clark says, "Is there something you wished you had done when you were younger? Any regrets that you wish you would have done when you were younger? Did you misbehave? Were you a pretty proper young lady?"
I was a proper lady. I listened.
Yes.
I
Yes.
did not drink. Like I said, I drank a little bit of wine. I never took drugs. I never smoked, but
Right.
one time,
One time?
I have to tell you,
Uh-oh.
the Lithuanians had a Lithuanian party every Sunday at somebody's house.
Okay.
And
yeah.
this particular house, they had a cornfield in back of their home.
Ooh.
And a girlfriend of mine and myself, we decided we wanted to find out how it feels to smoke.
Oh, no.
So we found a package of cigarettes somewhere there and took it and went out to the cornfield and lit up a cigarette.
Oh, no.
And oh, did we get sick.
Oh, no.
Our parents never knew what we did. We never told them.
Oh, I bet.
And never smoked after that.
That's crazy. I'd never heard that story.
I know you didn't.
And my friend Don Boozer in Texas says, "Which one of your children was your favorite?"
I did not have favorites. I loved them both.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I loved them both dearly. I would read comic books to Brian every night when he was a baby, when he just didn't understand. He was still about 3 months old when I started reading
Wow.
to him, and I believe that is why he loves to read
Oh, I do love to read, yes.
and do all this type
Sure
of
do.
thing.
Yeah, it's important to do that. And again, Dan Burt says the 40s and 50s, were those your favorite times? And I think we talked about that. You kind of like the 40s and 50s,
Yeah.
the elegant styles, classy styles of men and women. And they're coming back now, aren't they? The men.
They are.
I've noticed some younger guys are wearing the fedoras, and I
Yes.
love it. I love that style. I
Yes.
think it's great. Here's some more photos of you, Mom. I think we showed this one here. This is in the 1970s. That's you and me. I'm wearing a disco shirt, disco silk shirt, and that's you in the 70s. So, oh, and you've always liked dancing, right? You've always been active with dancing and things,
I loved
right?
to dance. I loved, like I said, ice skating, swimming. We would walk 2 miles to a resort area where they had a beautiful place to swim. They had a diving board. It was on a lake, and we used to walk there nearly every Sunday, and it was a dirt road.
Okay.
Sometimes my father would take us there or pick us up, but coming home we were exhausted. And I remember one time we stopped at a house and asked her for a glass of water. We couldn't make it all the way home.
Yeah, you lived near several lakes, Clear Lake in Gobles, Michigan, and there was like a nightclub that your sister and brother worked at, right? We saw
Well,
that.
this is the one.
That's the one, right, where you used to swim. Uncle Charles worked in the billiards area with the
Yes.
pool tables, and Aunt Alpha, did she take tickets for the dance? Or?
Yes.
But back then, a lot of communities had dance halls on the weekend.
Yes.
The big bands and things would play. And
Yeah, she worked downstairs in the other areas also, and she lived with the owners.
Oh, okay. In just a moment, we'll return to music, memories, pop culture, and more on the Medicare Funcast. I want to thank Red River Auto Group for being a sponsor of the Medicare Funcast. Mitch Ward and company here in Central Arkansas, doing a great job. They have a great selection of vehicles. They will deliver anywhere in the continental USA. Make it really easy on you. Mitch Ward and company are great. Give them a call at 501-381-7807, or their website is redriverauto.com. And mypillow.com, sandals, pillows, all kinds of bedding and sheets. I have tried really mostly every one of their product, and I really, really love my slippers. Here they are, my slippers. Turn them around here. These are so comfortable. The lining is so warm, especially in the wintertime. Got those for me, and I got these for my wife, Deanne. She loves these. We live in these, especially this time of year. Even in the summertime, I've worn them, and they are just so comfy. And you can get a discount on those by using my promo code KULIS, KULIS. And a lot of people don't know this, but there's another website. It's called allamericanmade.com. It's owned by MyPillow, allamericanmade.com. They have auto products, appliances, pet supplies, outdoor items, and all kinds of great stuff. Again, that's allamericanmade.com and mypillow.com. Use promo code KULIS. And of course, with any questions on Medicare, you can call or email me. My company is Affordable Health and Life, 501-307-1396. You can email me at medicarefuncast@gmail.com. Love to hear from you.
We now return to the Medicare Funcast with Brian Kulis.
And do you remember some of the music you liked? Did you like the big band?
I loved
swing and
them.
things? Oh, beautiful time.
I used to love to dance.
Yes, and you did it all the way up here till you lived in Hot Springs Village. So,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely. And my friend Jennifer Parma, who has a bunch of Porsches, she's a big car aficionado. She loves Porsches, and she wants to know about the different cars that you've had. So I've got a bunch of pictures here of some of the cars that you had. I know you always told us about a little MG, the MG
Yeah.
convertible, and that was in Phoenix, right?
Yes.
You liked it, but would it have, it was tough getting parts back then for it, or I think?
I don't remember.
Right.
Well, it was broken for a while and I couldn't drive
Not
it.
reliable, right. And then this is kind of similar to your 58 Chevy Impala.
Yes.
This is not exactly like it, but you had one about the same color.
With a black top.
Right, it was beautiful. Yeah, it had different wheels than this picture here, but that's what you had, and you bought that brand new, or did Grandpa buy that for you, or?
I bought it.
You bought it, right.
Yes.
And that was from dealership, I think, Rudolph in Phoenix.
And my father, something went wrong with it, and they fixed it, and it wasn't working properly. So my father got into the trunk of the car and told him to drive around. He wanted to find out what was wrong.
Ah! I could just see that. That's funny. Yeah,
He got it fixed.
your dad was a short guy, but he was tough, and he wouldn't take
And
take
he
any
talked
gruff.
to-
He wouldn't take any
broken
gruff.
broken English.
He did. He wouldn't take any gruff from anybody. He was pretty forceful.
He got what he wanted.
And then, of course, you remember this one. You bought the Mustang after the Impala, and then I bought this from you. That's a picture in high school of my red 1970 Mustang, and that was yours for many years growing up. And then you bought this from Cousin Gino, a 94 Chevy Z28 Camaro. And this is similar to yours, and it had a Corvette engine in it, and you were just driving this till about 5 years ago.
Yes.
So you drove this till about, you were 93, 94 years old.
I had a lot of attention.
You did. Your hot rod grandma. But you've always had sporty cars. You've always liked the sporty cars,
yes.
right? Let's see. Mary Evelyn Greeby, Deanne's sister, asked, I love your new hairstyle. Why did you make the change? Why did you change your hair? You've had different styles.
Well, I've worn it for so many years this way, with bangs and long hair. I got tired of it.
Right.
And it's short there.
Yeah, that's right. That's in Scottsdale at the Sugar Bowl
yes.
in Scottsdale, yeah.
And so I decided to create a short style. But the short style grows out so fast, and it's getting long now, and I don't know what I want it to look like.
Well, I'm going to kind of go back through kind of the places you've lived. So
you forgot the swimming pool where you dived.
Oh, okay. I was trying to avoid that, but my friend Sam Burt and also Danny Burt also reminded me. My great friends growing up asked me. I was trying to avoid this question, but they're asking about, did you get mad when Brian and Corey and Sam and Danny jumped off the second floor of the house?
The second roof.
The second roof.
The roof.
Were you upset a little bit?
The roof of the house.
The roof of the house.
To the pool.
Yes. Were you a little bit upset at us?
I was furious. I didn't find out until several months later.
The neighbor came over. Yeah, the neighbor came and said, hey, did you know that Brian was jumping off the roof? And I was in big trouble. But my friends Sam and Danny Burt always ask me about that. So
They do.
What happened is we went up on the roof and we jumped off. Little Corey, who was maybe 12 at the time or something, maybe 10 or 12, all of a sudden I'm in the backyard and I see my little sister jump off the roof into the pool. And I was so mad. I took a bench out there and I threw it into the pool. I was so mad at Corey. I wasn't mad at myself. I was like, well, I can do it, but my little sister's going to get hurt. So I was so upset at her. I threw the bench in the pool, and Sam...
See, I didn't know that
Sam
part
always,
of it.
Yeah, Sam always brings that up. Last time I saw him. So anyway, let's go back to... So you grew up in Michigan. You lived there through college. And then you went and visited friends in Phoenix. Did you come out just to visit, right out to Phoenix?
No, I worked. My mother was ill.
Okay.
And my young brother had polio.
Right, he did. Yeah,
and
you took care of him.
I had to go home and help my mother take care of him.
Okay, Uncle Bernard.
So I worked in a little town called Pawpaw.
Pawpaw, Michigan.
Yes, and I worked for 2 doctors there, and I worked there for a year, and I couldn't handle it. I missed my friends.
I bet.
And yeah. It was a small town, nothing to do. So a lady in the office said she was driving to San Diego.
Wow.
And she could drop me off in Phoenix. and spend a vacation. Some of my girlfriends had gone there, and I couldn't go at the time. So I thought, yes, I will go. And I thought I'll stay 2 weeks and then come home.
Yes.
Well, I never left.
You never left Phoenix. You fell in love with the
And
desert.
here you are.
Right. Oh, and then all of your family started migrating to
Yes.
Phoenix. They would all come visit you and loved it. And so your parents came out.
Yes.
And didn't you have a long...
For health.
You had a long drive with your brother. Didn't you bring your
Yes.
brother out?
Yes.
You drove across, old Route 66, and you were telling me you had some kind of like air conditioning on the window
Yes.
to keep you cool. It was like a thing you
A
would attach
ventilator.
right to the window,
Yeah.
and that's when you'd have these water bags, these canvas water bags, if your radiator
Right.
overheated, and it was a different time. And then, of course, your sister came out and lived, my sister and your brother-in-law. They had most of their children came out there. They had all their children with them. Other cousins came out, so it was just all migrated, right?
Yes.
And then so you lived in the 1960s. You worked for Air Research, right?
Yes.
Were you a secretary there at Air
Yeah.
Research in Phoenix? And you were telling me when you were working at Air Research, didn't you skate in ice capades? You had some type of ice
Yes,
capade show
I did.
at work? Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, that's fun. And growing up in Phoenix, 60s and 70s, Dad was working for Morton Salt, and we used to go to these fun grocers conventions. Remember going
Yeah.
all the fancy hotels in Phoenix and going to all these different events. And then so we had the house in Tempe when I was growing up. We moved out to Paradise Valley after that. And then later on, we moved to Dallas, which was tough. You loved Phoenix a lot, so we lived
I
in...
did. I didn't want to move.
Yeah, but we've had some beautiful homes, nice homes always growing up in Dallas. And then you moved back to Scottsdale. You had your condo there. You were near your sister, so that was neat. And then we were living at Colorado at the time, and then we brought you to Hot Springs Village. So we dragged you away from Phoenix again to come to Arkansas. And then now you're gonna go live with Corey in Texas. So you'll be back to Texas again. So
Yes. A round circle.
and what do you wish to accomplish in the future? Now you're 98 and a half, and the way you are, you'll probably live to 110. So what do you wish to accomplish now? What are your goals?
My goal is to stay healthy, not fall,
Yeah?
and not end up in the hospital with broken legs and
That's
stuff.
right. That's right. You
And
got to be careful.
I am going to zoom on to 100 years of age.
Oh, we're going to have a huge party and invite everybody. I'll invite all my Facebook friends. We'll have a big party. Yeah, what's funny about you, Mom, is that you are so energetic. I remember I think just 2 or 3 years ago, I got a big load of gravel out here to make a driveway. And this was only like 2 or 3 years ago, and all of a sudden here you come with a shovel, and you're 96 years old and out there shoveling gravel with me. That was just a good memory.
I worked until
Yeah.
a year ago.
Right, and
when I broke my hip.
Yeah, you've had some fractures. It's kind of slowed you down, but you've always loved flowers. You've always been real active. I think you taught me that. Working out in the yard, I've always liked to garden, flowers and things like that. And you've always had such beautiful gardens in every house we've had.
Yes.
I mean, whether it be in Arizona or Dallas, you always had roses and flowers and things like that.
You have a good memory.
Oh, I try to. It's not always that good. Sometimes I can't remember where my cell phone is, but I can remember when I'm 3 years old, doing something.
Or your glasses when they're on top of your head.
On top of your head. Yeah, that happens. That happens. So any more thoughts for my listeners and viewers here? Any words of wisdom before we part?
Stay stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Stay healthy. That's a good thing. And then you like to eat lots of Raisin Bran. So your diet that we know what to buy you because you have a predictable list. You eat lots of Raisin Bran, yogurt, bananas. Let's see what else.
Power drinks.
Power drinks. Yeah, the little Equate little drinks like Ensure type of drink. And what is your treat that you like? You don't eat a lot of sweets. Peaches, right?
And bananas.
You like natural sweets. You're not real big on candy
I like a lot of fruit.
Once in a while ice cream or something. Once in a while a wine or something, but you've never been a big drinker or anything, or no cigarettes. So I think it's the Raisin Bran keeping you alive. I think that's what we get you the huge Raisin Bran at Costco, right? Well, I love you, Mom. This has been really fun. Let's do another show when you're 100 years old. Let's plan on doing that.
Okay, we'll plan that.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks for watching the Medicare Funcast with Brian Kulis. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. It's been fun. We'll see you next time.